Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. It's another beautiful day. I don't remember what we were doing, but let's see if we can figure it out. By the way, how's science? It's happening. I'd like to have a bigger stockpile, but I think part of it's because we weren't producing this very quickly for a long time. Yeah, so we had a very extended period. We're talking like 20 plus hours. Well, there were quite a few hours where I think it was backed up. And then we were only producing 5 a minute until I fixed something. And then we were producing 10 a minute until I finally fixed another thing. And now we're producing 18 a minute, which is much, much better. Which should be enough to match our pY1 science. Anyway, I should probably do some researches, so let's work towards, I don't know, trains? What? I mean, we really just need to work towards green science. We'll get trains eventually, but we don't need them yet. We'll do fiberboard and starch, and we'll get fish, so composting, and fish, and cotton guts. And then energy generation to get electric boilers and non-renewables. All right, so we'll get all that going. And let's see, what did we even do in the last episode? We got boron trioxide. What a thing. So we need to move the boron trioxide over to the glass area. So that's maybe next. Is getting glassworks stuff. And maybe making hot air for the glassworks stuff. Because we'll need some hot air for all of this. Is that worth it though? So here, 50 hot air is taking the place of a little bit of boron trioxide and 33 glass. Here, it's taking the place of 50 molten glass and 2 rubber stoppers. So that hot air is far more valuable. Here the hot air is taking the place of only 20 molten glass. So that's not really worth it. Here it's taking the place of 50 molten glass. And here it was 33. Okay, so it certainly is the most valuable for glassware, and then maybe optical sets, and then maybe petri dishes, and then glass last. So if you were to like prioritize your hot air, that's how you would do it. Now, speaking of hot air, we need coke oven gas. COG, as I like to call it. And, I mean, do I even need it? How important is it? We've got plenty of molten glass, right? It's not like I've been struggling on glass. It would be nice for the glassware to be switched over, though. If we switched it over, how much would we need? Is that actually 16 a second? What did we build here? No, it's not 16 a second. If I switch that to the hot air recipe, we would get more pie science. So that's probably worth it, because I'm going to run out of pie science once I get into green science. But that's so far from now. Maybe I don't need the hot air right now. Blah, it's all so much. Let's just make some hot air. How hard actually is it? It's not that hard. The problem is this sounds so bad to say. We have too much coke. Because the easiest way, the only way, to make hot air right now is to make coke from raw coal. And then I'm just going to have so much coke everywhere. Just going to be coking it up. Now, this belt has no need to be raw coal, right? This is all just a fueling belt. So here's my thought. My thought is, right here, we've got all sorts of space in this area. So I'm thinking we move Iron Ghost up to here. And then we'll put some hot air production here. All right, fix this little bit. Perfect. All right, so that's done, and then we need some HPFs, grabbing. That's not an HPF. That's not a knife. This is a knife. I don't know how many we need. I'm just making crap up. Do the Coke recipe. Recipe. Alright. And then... that's too much. 3 shall be sufficient. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. We need a lot of inserters. And then the output is 2, which requires 3 inserters. Okay. And then all of that will go on one side of the belt. So it'll be on the far side, which is this. I guess it doesn't need to merge, it just becomes that belt. Cool. All right, that should keep things fueled up. And then yeah. Okay. And now we've got cog, and then cog. Let's remind ourselves of this whole hot air process. Hot air is something we will be making much more of at some point, but for now, we throw it through a regenerative heat exchanger. Or, well, we throw the warm stone bricks through a regenerative heat exchanger. And then we throw the cold stone bricks in with hot coke oven gas. Or I should say medium temperature. Whoa. And we need a lot of regenerative heat exchangers for 400. What does this produce? This produces 30. So we'll do 150 over 400 times 30. And that gets us down to 2.4 regens and 1 for the bricks. And then we just need some bricks to loop. Pressure pump. I need 3 of these. Boom. Oh, we're out of pipes. Let's go grab some pipes. I'm excited to play Pi, by the way. I didn't play Pi all weekend, and I was starting to be like, oh man, I miss my Pi base. Okay, probably always need more poles. And then just refill all the things. Well, that's looking good. You know what I just realized is we also need our full stash. We don't have any overflow valves. And those stack to 20, so we can definitely get a few more of those going on in our inventory, because I use those pretty frequently. Some more air cores, some more small parts. And how are we doing on all the metals? Steel. Iron we're pretty low on. Copper. Everything's feeling pretty good. I also just realized 10 isn't over here, but I think we planned, yeah, we planned on 10 and zinc coming to there, so we'll have to do that at some point. The to-do list is large. Large and in charge. Where am I going? Here. Alright, so where'd they go? There they are. Oh yeah, these are small. Okay, that's nice. As far as pie buildings go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's funny to think about these as small because they're like the largest buildings in Vanilla Factorio, but these feel tiny. That's really funny. Wait, no, sorry. It's 2 making the bricks, 1 making the hot air, right? Yes. Very much so. Okay, now there's another really important note here. These will produce cold coke oven gas. However, that cold coke oven gas still has a fuel value, which means I could use, you know, for my glassworks and smeltery fueling, I could pump in to the same spot, which would be here, with coke oven gas. This is where we really need combinators to make this easy. Combinators and train networks, but for now, oh, I just had this. Sorry, I was quiet because my brain just went like light speed on this thought about when we're fueling stuff with trains, what if instead of actually doing like Project Cybersyn deliveries of certain item types, what if I just did vanilla train scheduling and there were just trains that go to a fill station and then they go to the dump station, and basically I just turn on and off the fill and dump stations, and the fill stations could be any style of fuel. And then trains are just going and getting some sort of fuel and delivering it. And I don't have to, because I'm using the vanilla train system, it doesn't matter what fluids they actually are. And then on each of the each of the dump stations, you know, I could filter it out. But I wouldn't even have to filter it out. I could have a 2-stage, I know this is such a tangent, but I could have a 2-stage filter, not filter, what am I trying to say? Just like a 2-stage tank system where the first, basically the trains would, okay, hear me out. So this is your train track, right? And then you've got your pump. I need a few more of these anyway. And then it would pump out into this area, and then this area would pump into the next area. So and then this would fuel your stuff. So this fuels whatever is in this city block or area of your base. You know, glassworks, smelters, anything that uses fluid fuel, oil burners to make steam, the whole 9 yards. And then this is, you know, it just needs to be able to hold the same amount that this can hold, which needs to be able to hold whatever trains can hold. That's all fine. And basically what you do is you would just say, hey, if this one's empty, then we want to request a train. And then as soon as this one is non-empty, you stop requesting trains. And so there's always room for a train to dump whatever it has into this one. And then if they're different fluids, then as soon as this one is emptied, then this one will transfer in and it'll request a different thing as the, you know, next fuel. So that's kind of a way, I think, to do a mixed fueling system, right? And then you don't have to care whether it's gasoline or acetylene or coke oven gas, cold coke oven gas, because we're definitely going to use the hot air from it. But, you know, that's a way to just use whatever you got. And the trains will just be agnostic with it. I think that works. I don't know, you guys can tell me if there's some flaw in my logic there, but I think that's gonna work pretty well. Anyway, we'll set that up, and then for this, these are 0.625, so that's one inserter each. This is slightly tricky. How do I want to do this? So I can always just direct feed like that. And then the pressure pump. Go there. But then the regular bricks need to get put in. Like this. Okay. And that gives me a little bit of a buffer. And that should do it. Okay, so now I just need to put... $40 bricks, 20 bricks maybe. How many squares is this? 10, so that'll be 40 bricks. I need a few more than I put. Maybe another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just enough that when it's empty, it goes to about here. It looks like we're gonna buffer some in here. Limit's 40 for automated insertion. Well, let's say we ran out here. Yeah, that should be fine. Sweet. Okay, so that's hot air. And then we'll have that come up. And then over. Alright, we did it. Hot air. Switch the glassware over. And that should do it. We have to actually hook it up down here, though. Minor detail. And if I ain't mistaken, we're good to go. Alright, and now we need cold coke oven gas to do something here. What are we gonna do with that? How much power are we generating here? 25 megawatts? I get half of that if I get an oiler boiler. What are these? 14 megawatts? Oh no, these are double efficient. So I would actually get a full 25 free megawatts out of this. Yeah, that seems worth it. I just need 2 of these. And then How many? 5, 6, maybe? Steam engines? Something like that. But yeah, for now we'll just set up something like this. Convenient. And then we'll just get some free power, maybe right here. I don't know. What is this? What is all this nonsense? Who built this base? I want to talk to your manager. All right. Oh, it was me? Oh dear. Well then, in that case. Alright, so we'll get some free power out of that, and then we just need an overflow, because we're not always going to need the full amount of power. So we'll just vent the rest of the cog there to make sure we don't back up. Cool, more free power. I mean, look, I love some free power. Let me tell you what. And on that note, someone was just telling me on the Discord that you know, these things that we set up, the geothermal vents, they benefit from mining productivity, which then kind of explains why I think they suggested this, and I agreed with them. The recipe is 240 geothermal water per second in a heat exchanger, but it's 250 from one of these, and I was like, why is it like that? That doesn't make any sense. What's the point of that? That's just annoying. Well, it makes more sense thinking about these having productivity, because now when we upgrade it, that'll go up to 275, then it'll go up to 300 if it's going by 10% at least. And then that works with what you already built, because you already built 2 of these. So these can handle the upgrades. You know what I mean? So they kind of encouraged you to build 2 of these already, so that then you can upgrade this. Now I will need to add a couple more steam engines to go with that, but we won't have to change anything else about the build, which is super cool. So, all that being said, we can get some free power from this research, and I don't think I realized that, so that makes it very much worth doing. In fact, there's 2 researches. So we can get up to 20% more geothermal power. That's a pretty huge boost. So that's super nice. We'll be doing that. Not that we need the power right now, but, you know, we'll need it eventually. And that has 17 bricks, so we probably still need a few more bricks. Right. We didn't do half the step. Then we have coke that we might not need. And we won't be getting hot air unless we delete this coke. So we already decided the best way to delete coke was a DDC. They don't call it destructive distillation column for nothing. And this recipe, which eats 4 coke a second. That's really the best way we have to delete coke, huh? Guess so. Okay. That's a much better way of connecting things. So that means I need 3 of these? No, sorry. We only make 6 coke, so I only need 2 of these. Alright. That's slightly better. And then I will H, and then I will, don't judge me, sinkhole, and gas vent, and we just generally get rid of all of it. I know this feels crazy, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Four should get me enough oak deletion. And then the problem is going to be the ash. Is there an ash output? No, it's all the way over there, so we'll just delete this ash. So then ash is the only output, so that works. Is it guaranteed ash? It is. For every 20 coke though, so it's like not very much. But we will feed like so and like so. Perfect. And that's a way to prioritize the ash that comes from this. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we're deleting up to 8 coke a second so that this will keep running, and we shall consume a full belt of rock coal. Theoretically. Looks like we're not actually doing that. Or are we? Maybe we are. Crazy. So there's hot air figured out. Was that on my list? No, it wasn't on my list? Oh no. Okay, well, we put it on the list. Yay, we checked something off the list. Okay, so then next is gonna be not cDNA. We're not gonna see DNA for a while. What actually? Well, maybe it is. Remind me. So, it needs everything. Everything you've ever thought about relating to bio stuff. It needs it. It needs rubber. It needs small parts. It needs whatever the heck this is. Phoenix Circuit 10. It needs the optical sets. We also need glassware. We also need substrate. We also need petri dishes. We also need biosamples. We need moss gene samples. We need plasmids, which need, again, petri dishes, laboratory glassware, and Zogna. And then we need retrovirus, which also needs all those things. And this time it's the petri dishes that are non-incubated, and Vrauk cocoons, and hot air, because why the heck not? So this is just a nightmare. Why do I enjoy playing this game again? A lot of that stuff is here. We've got substrate, we've got glassware, we've got moss gene samples, we've got petri dishes, incubated and non-incubated. Oh, the incubated ones are a pain in the ass. That's right. Right. And then the biosamples are over here. I can move those with our friend the Caravan. Where do I want to make cDNA? Because we're also gonna need... So let's just kind of go through the list. Glassware, check. Optical sets could be a check. Rubber, small parts, and equipment chassis, probably not gonna come from this area. Substrate check, incubated check, biosample comes from the caravan over there, moss gene check. These things, I just need the Zogna bacteria, which is wood and lamps, which is copper, glass, and iron. Zogna is also petri dishes, but we already need those petri dishes, so it's a double petri dish situation. And then retrovirus needs the Vrauk cocoons. I hate that. Let me just say. I hate that it needs Vrauk cocoons. God, I hate cDNA. We don't need it for green science, do we? Well, we do need plasmids, but we don't need cDNA. Okay. I just feel like it still is worth automating, even after all that. I think it's worth automating. So let's do it. Because cDNA is the key. It is the key. My volume's a little bit low. Maybe I just need to turn my speakers up a little bit, but it seems a bit low to me. Okay, so first thing we need to do is steal some cocoons from the Vrauk world. So... And where do I want to make cDNA? Maybe I could go down here. Have a nice little space for a laboratory. And we just use caravans to bring all the pieces. How are caravans doing, by the way? How's the meat jerky situation? Not good. They're running out of food. No, they do brains, not meat. Okay, they're not running out of food. But see, this is the problem. This really frustrates me about caravans. They need to have 2 fuel slots, because otherwise they can never switch foods without dying, or running out of fuel, I should say. He's literally about to run out of fuel. Or I should say she, because this is Catherine of Sky. But that's really frustrating to me. If any of you Pi devs are watching, that's kind of a serious recommendation I have. Like, it kind of makes caravans useless this way. Now with the spoilage, it makes it impossible to prevent them from ever having jerky in the first place. And once they've switched to jerky, they can never switch back to... Well, really, just in general, they can never switch foods. And so that doesn't really work very well with this spoilage thing. Which kind of means you should never feed them jerky in the first place. And you just need to have a constant supply of brains. I think that's actually kind of what that means. Because the caravans are just going to eventually run out of fuel. And I don't think there's a way to prevent that. And somebody said there is a caravan management thing somewhere buried in here. Wow, there is. That's crazy. So I should give them all brains, is what I'm realizing. So let me grab some brains. But even that, no, see, this is so frustrating. No, I hate it. I'm off it, because this will never work. Because you can't guarantee that the brains they take are fresh enough. There's no way to guarantee that. Oh, this is really frustrating. because as the brains get closer and closer to spoiled, they could end up having brains spoil into jerky, and then from there, now they're stuck on jerky and they won't take brains, and then they're gonna be screwed over. So really, the only solution to caravans is the food, because the food doesn't, you know, worker food or whatever it's called. There's a lot of kinds of food, and they all look the same. Yeah, worker food doesn't spoil. Or was it worker food? What was it? Oh, they can also just do AUG food. But yeah. AUG food is not terrible. The Relasia is harder than it looks. And there's some plastic, but AUG food's not terrible. So I guess we could be feeding them with AUG food at this point, and then we don't have to worry about any of that. But we do need Relasias first, which requires cDNA. So we're not quite there. Ugh. Okay. Alright, anyway, I'm gonna stop complaining about that. I do need to switch someone over to brains here. So we'll go find our little Catherine of Sky caravan over here. And you get some fresh bronze. And then who else was it? You, Bulby. You're over by the Nexalet. You're gonna get brains. And then at this point, you're not Bulby. Yeah, okay, so now you've got brains. Now, is there a way that we can somehow... This is so rough. How can we... I'm trying to think of a spoilage system with chests that... Because you cannot measure spoiledness, which is really gosh darn frustrating. I'm still kind of mad. I'm low-key mad at the Factorio devs for not giving us a way to read, or a way to like filter based on spoiled level. Like I wanna only take items out of a chest that are 40% or more or less freshness remaining. You know, like the fact that you can't do that is incredibly frustrating. So you have to do these weird systems where like you have a chest and then that has like, it has a constant 90 brains in it, and then you have a chest here that has a, you know, you only outsert when you have above 90, and this only inserts when you have, you know, below 90, and then it's like, that way this always has around 90 brains in it, but then like, so these are the least spoiled brains because it's constantly cycling new brains into a stack of 90 brains, and then those are going out. But then like, if you did that a bunch of times in a row, then slowly the ones towards the end would be the more spoiled ones, right? So if you only ever took from like the first few, then they'd be less spoiled because the brains would slowly move through. I don't know. It just feels like spoilage was not really well thought out when it comes to chests. It works fine on belts, more or less, but on chests, it's just such a pain in the butt. And so I'm not a huge fan of how it's implemented with caravans, and caravans not having 2 food slots, because then you really can't guarantee that they're gonna have the food type they're currently eating. Anyway, I digress. Let's keep working on cDNA. So we need to provide, let me make a few caravan outposts. Oh, we're out of concrete. The good news is we automated that, so we should have a lot. Oh yeah, we have a lot. That's actually really nice. I'm glad we automated this. Okay, so anyway, caravan outpost. So we're gonna need one over here, and it's gonna have all those little weird things. It's gonna have glassware, it's gonna have petri dishes, it's gonna have, I don't know where to put it. Is that a good spot? Maybe? Here's the glassware. By the way, did our hot air mess up our glassware production? No, it has improved it. We went from 6 a minute to 9 a minute. Okay, that's what we wanted. Alright, but we have to do a little bit of a stopping here. So glassware comes over here. Oh god. Maybe this is a bad spot. Where else am I gonna put it? I don't know. But I'm thinking that right here might actually be better. And then I can do, you know, this. Just try to get belts dodging out of the way a little bit better. Do we need regular petri dishes? I think we do. Which one of you needed regular petri dishes? Was it Zogna? No, maybe. Sorry, and by regular I mean empty. I don't think anything needs an empty petri dish. So we can take the red petri dishes. And we'll have to do the, you know, whatchamacallit on site. Glassware goes there. And then, let's see, glassware. Then we need substrate. Now there's a new question. Does that double count? Why does this not double count a belt? That's something I've never really considered before. If you connect 2 of these and you say read, hold, and then you drop an item on there, why does that not read? Oh wait, sorry, it does double count. These are just reading those individual belts. Whoops, okay. Okay, that does double count, never mind. It's like, that doesn't that seem like it would double count? Yes, it would seem that way, and it does do that. Okay. Anyway, here are petri dishes irregular, and we would like these to come over and up, and moss gene samples can go on the other side of that belt, I think. So So we'll feed that, and then we'll feed this. Like that. Perfect. Moss gene and regular petri dish. And then we need substrate. Go there. And let's set this up in HalMod real quick just to see what our counts relatively are. If there's 1 or 2 items that need like way more than the others, I might do 2 or 3 stacks of those. But the overall cDNA amounts that we're gonna need are so small that I'm not too worried about it. Either way. Okay, substrate, example, petri dish. Biosamples, we're already automating. Moss gene, we've already automated. Plasmids, retrovirus. Both need the lab samples, so that goes to the bottom. Shift click, by the way, to do that, to move 5 rows at a time. So cDNA is expensive, man. 5 glassware? 4.5 optical sets? 15 rubber per cDNA? Oh dear. That's a lot of rubber. Wow. But yeah, it's a decent amount of petri dishes. But like 4, 6, really it'll be 7 because we'll have all those just as regular petri dishes. The Zogna is even more petri dishes. That's 9 petri dishes, 4 Varroa cocoons, 5 moss gene, 5 biosample, 4 substrate, 5 glassware, 4 cocoon. I mean, it's kind of the same amount of everything if you really think about it. Ten is maybe a little bit higher. Huh. I think 1 stack of everything is fine. And then, am I missing something? Substrate, petri dish. Oh, the optical set. Let's go get that set up. Now the optical set's gonna require yet another caravan. I'm starting to fear, am I using caravans too much? Are we not gonna have enough brains to support the brawn, if if you catch my meaning? I'm not really sure. It's all the way up there, though. And we can just put it on the other side of the glassware belt here. All right. But I want to direct feed here, so let's do it that way. Okay. Yeah, feed that. This. It's down there. Okay. Done. Boron trioxide. We need some more caravans. When's the last time we made some caravans? Did we need more biosamples or something? Can't remember. Yeah. And more brown cocoons, and I need an output. Oh, but they don't stack. That's right. That's why I haven't been carrying them around. Okay. Okay, anyway, you are... No, not two of you. You are my new friend. Boron trioxide. Exclamation mark. Just to make sure you understand how important your job is. All right, you will grab bronze. By that I mean brains. Store food. And then you come up here. Empty cargo. You know I can do this from map view. Fill card. Now the question is, do I just want to let it fill up? Maybe at least to that much. I just don't know. I mean, talking about such a small usage. Because one boron trioxide gets us 1.3 optical sets. So, or sorry, 0.3 boron. So one, it's like 1 to 4 ratio wise. So when I fill cargo, instead I could wait until Caravan has, you know, 2,000 rather than ridiculous amounts. We'll just go with 20 stacks instead of 30 stacks. Even that feels a bit ridiculous. So this will only take one trip every million years, which means again that the brains are going to spoil. So this whole brains thing just does not work. We have to move to AUG food if we're using caravans regularly. If we keep using them even after we have trains, we're going to need AUG food. Because the brains thing is not going to work. Or I just need to make so many biodegradable things that we end up with jerky and plenty of jerky. Because it would also be fine if we just had more than enough jerky. But the problem is we cannot mix jerky and brains. With the current state of how this game works, as far as I can tell, there's literally nothing I can do to fix this problem. Because when they're down to their last jerky, they're just never gonna be able to take brains to get them through the rest of their schedule. And I just don't think there's a way to fix that because they only have one fuel slot. So yeah, not a huge fan of that. Not a huge fan. All right, you go do that. Cool. So boron trioxide's done. That will put optical sets on the other side of the belt from, not this, way in the wrong spot. Down here. So this will be optical sets. Okay. And then is there anything else we need from right here? Do we need any moss or wood or ash? Or copper or iron. Ooh, copper, iron, glass. Lamps. I love lamp. I can make lamp here. Oh my goodness. Sometimes we have epiphanies in this world. This is gonna be messy, but I think we can make it work. So, you're gonna do that. You're gonna be lamp. You're gonna do that. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do this. This. So then there's glass. There's copper. It's inconvenient. What this? Come on, man. Why you gotta do me like this? Of course it doesn't fit in there either. I just want the syngas to be connected. Is that so much to ask? Goodness. Alright. And then we need a fuel. I'm trying to think about fueling it with the wood from here, but then that's kind of a mess. So I can do that. And this, and this. And lo and behold. He said, let there be lamp. And there was lamp. And that grabbed that. And then the only thing still needed is the lamp inserting into the caravan building, and I believe I've screwed that up. And I no longer have a way to do that. The spaghetti is real. Indeed, indeed. This doesn't need to be there. Okay. Okay. Stupid syngas. Oh man. Alright. Now the copper's connected, but now this needs copper. Come on, man. Because if I do this, and then this, and then that gets the copper, then this has to be for the lamp, but then this could be the iron, which actually does still work. Okay. Wow. Alright, lamp is automated. No, because then I can't... Nah. That can go there. And then this can do that. And then this can do that. And then this can do that. And there we go. Voila! 6 items needed and procured for CDNA. 6 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 6 of 19. Oh, we do need wood. For Zagna. Zagna. Done. That's in a different thingy already. Actually, it's not. That's just in a chest. Done. Not done. Steel somewhere else. Rubber somewhere else. All parts, coke, phoenix, circuit, tin. That's all somewhere else. Done. And hot air. Also questionable on how I end up doing that. I'm not sure yet, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I mean, we're making some good progression here. So we've got all that. And we're an hour into the episode, so we probably need to be done soon. How do we finish here? Let's get route cocoons up and in a chest. We're gonna pull some cocoons off of the reservation here. How do I want to do this? Probably just simply with cocoon filtered inserter. And we just get up to 1 square. Because these make 30 a minute, so it's only a few minutes of production that we're stealing. You know, cDNA, again, you automate it so that it builds up over the course of many hours, and then you only use a few at a time. But I think we will be glad we automated it. So, this is a perfect place to end the episode after all that chaos. So, as usual, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next episode.